So, here we are. This is the new TREK ProCaliber 8 mountain bike for the 2024 season. And in this episode, I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and I will also tell you, should you just go ahead and buy it, or should you just consider this hardtail cross-country mountain bike? So, hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. Before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe because it's gonna help in growing the channel. And of course, if you are already a subscriber, I say thank you. So here we have the TREK ProCaliber 8 cross-country hardtail mountain bike with the retail price of 1,400 British pounds or approximately 1,500 euros, which in my opinion is an absolutely stunning and amazing price point for this aluminum hardtail cross-country mountain bike. So we will dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what are you gonna get for your hard-earned money. So first thing first we can answer is who is this bike for? So you see, this cross-country hardtail mountain bikes, I'm a huge fan of them. They are so versatile and so useful in everyday life because of course you can ride on the road, and whenever you want you can attack any demanding off-roading course, climb any steep mountains with this, go as fast as possible downhill. So they are super useful bikes to have. Specifically in this iteration where you have a hardtail mountain bike, so you only have the front suspension fork, there is no suspension on the rear, so it is very easy to service and it's a very reliable thing. And also in this instance, since this frame is gonna be the aluminum frame, then definitely when you consider the maintenance or any kind of small damages, there's absolutely no problem with this. Also, I have to mention here that when you look at the paint schemes of this bike, I'm really glad that the TREK is offering two paint schemes. The first one is this combination of the green and kind of gray silver paint scheme, which is very beautiful, lots of hints of black also on the bike, so looks really nice. And then you have another paint scheme, which is this very classical kind of pearl and clear white, I would almost call it, with a hint of silver and black. Absolutely stunning classical paint scheme, and probably if I'm the market for this specific bike, I would go with this kind of pearl white and silver paint scheme. It's an absolutely classic and a stunning paint scheme. Again, when you consider that this ProCaliber 8 is retailing for 1,400 British pounds or 1,500 euros, definitely I'm glad that TREK is offering two paint schemes on this bike. Also, I have to mention here that at the time of this recording, I'm not so sure if TREK is going to offer this ProCaliber 8 on the US market. I don't see it currently on the US website of the TREK. I truly hope they bring it to the US market, because I think it would be a shame if you can't access this bike on the US market. As it is now, definitely in European countries, in UK, you can definitely get this bike. Okay, now we can really dive into the specifications of this bike and truly see what are you gonna get for your hard-earned 1,400 British pounds or approximately 1,500 euros. So let's kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So you see, the frame is the TREK's Alpha aluminum frame, which is an absolutely, perfectly fine, excellent thing. It comes with the threaded bottom bracket, BSA 73. It also comes with 12mm through axles at the back, 15mm through axle at the front, and also on this aluminum frame you have the hidden rack and also the kickstand mount. All in a very modern aluminum frame, and it's going to be very durable, and with TREK you will get their lifetime warranty on their aluminum frames or carbon fiber frames. So all in for the frame, absolutely no complaints for me. And the biggest probably selling point is going to be that Even if you have some small crash or some small dent into aluminum, you don't have to worry so much. With carbon fiber frames, of course, if it develops any kind of crack, it's kind of game over unless you can fix it or replace it with the TREK's kind of replacement warranty. Now let's talk about the fork on this bike. You will get, in my opinion, excellent RockShox Recon Gold RL fork. So this fork is 120 millimeters of travel in this instance, which is absolutely superb. A lot of travel on this fork. Usually on the cross-country mountain bikes you would have 100 millimeters of travel, but this 120, in my opinion, is absolutely excellent because of, more travel. You can definitely attack even more demanding terrain. This RockShox Recon Gold has their debonair spring, comes with a motion control damper. It also has a lockout system, and you can also adjust the rebound on this fork. All in, excellent addition to this bike when you consider the total retail price of this bike. I also have to mention here that I am the proud owner of the TREK ProCaliber 9.6 bike. So this is the bike now 1 year old, and this one comes of course with the carbon fiber frame, but I have the same fork on my bike, RockShox Recon Gold RL, and I can confirm that it's absolutely working perfectly fine. And the only tip I can give you here is that you should service this fork once a year. If you are, for example, a bit more active rider. If you are not riding so much, then definitely every second year to service the fork is absolutely recommended. Okay, let's look at the wheel set on this bike. So what are we gonna get? So this is gonna be a combination of the Bontrager Co-V aluminum rims, which are tubeless ready, and the hubs on this wheel set are from Shimano TC500 aluminum hubs, classical Shimano reliability cup and cone hubs. Again, I'm not expecting anything special here, but it's definitely going to be Shimano reliable. I'm really glad that these Bontrager Co-V rims are tubeless ready with the 23mm internal width, so absolutely fine here. And in the future, if you are thinking of upgrading your wheel set, I can definitely recommend you to have a look at the DT Swiss mountain bike wheels, specifically their aluminum wheels, which comes with the superb DT Swiss, for example, 350 hubs, 370 hubs, or if you go really up market, you can have something with the DT Swiss 240 hubs. On this bike, you are also getting the new Bontrager tires. So this is the Bontrager Saint-Anne tires Pro XR. This is a tubeless ready tire. 29 inches tire, 2.2 inches wide. Again, excellent choice. As I've seen recently from some presentations from the Bontrager, they have developed a new lineup, I think, of 3 or 4 tires, depending on the off-road course you're going to be using. So in the sense, if you want a lot of the puncture protection, if you want the speed or a good grip or riding in muddy conditions, there are different tires on offer. This Bontrager Saint-Anne Pro XR is one of those new tires in the Bontrager lineup. Also, I have to mention here that this frame and the fork can accept up to 2.4 inches tires, 29 inch by 2.4. So if you want even more air volume in your tire, definitely upgrade in the future to the 2.4 inches tire. Now let's talk about the drivetrain on the bike. What are you gonna get? So here you have the shifter and the rear mech from Shimano. There is no front mech on this bike, so this is a one-by setup. So the shifter is the Shimano SLX and the rear mech is the Shimano XT rear mech. All of this is a 12-speed mechanical group set from Shimano, absolutely stunning. There's no complaints here with the SLX shifter or the Shimano XT level rear mech. Stunning piece of engineering from Shimano. And also I have to mention here that the crankset you will get is the E13 Helix crankset. Only single chainring at the front, and this is a 30 teeth chainring at the front. So I would just suggest you here to test it before you buy it, because you might find that this 30 teeth chainring is a bit small. For example, when I was buying my cross-country mountain bike, I immediately swapped this chainring for a 32 chainring. So maybe something to negotiate with your TREK bike shop. If you try this 30 teeth chainring and it's too small, just ask them to upgrade to the 32 one. All in E13 Helix crankset, I have no special complaints here. It comes with a standard threaded bottom bracket, 73mm, so it's gonna work perfectly fine. And the bottom bracket on this bike is a Shimano's MT501 BSA bottom bracket. Also, I have to mention here cassette and the chain, no cutting corners, Shimano SLX cassette, 1051 cassette, huge gear ratio, and the chain Shimano SLX 12-speed chain. In the future, when you destroyed the chain and the cassette, I would again advise you to stick with the Shimano, so Shimano SLX would be preferred, or with the chain, of course, you can use any 12-speed compatible chain, not just the Shimano, but some other manufacturers, for example, like the KMC chains. Also, if you are upgrading your chainring on this bike, just keep in mind that the 34 teeth is the maximum chainring you can use, considering, of course, the geometry of the frame. Now, when you look at the saddle and the seat post on this bike, some of the smaller components, saddle is from the Bontrager, so Bontrager versus saddle. Since saddles are always a personal preference, if you don't like this one, it's going to be very easy to replace. And also the good thing here is that this bike comes immediately with the Bontrager line dropper seat post. 100 millimeters of travel in certain sizes, or 150 millimeters for the kind of medium large sizes, going up to 170 millimeters of travel. I think this is absolutely excellent addition to this bike. Dropper seat posts are super useful when you are going downhill, and to get it on a bike which costs, you know, 1,400 British pounds or 1,500 euros is a very good addition. When it comes to the handlebar and the stem, this is a classical aluminum pieces from Bontrager with the handlebar. Usually, you know, the width will be something like 750 millimeters. Again, you might find it a bit too wide, so maybe you need to cut it a bit. With the stem, Bontrager Elite aluminum stem, nothing special to add, and both these pieces are separate pieces, nothing is proprietary here. So even in the future, if you are thinking of upgrading or changing anything, it's going to be very easy. When it comes to the braking system, this is the Shimano's hydraulic disc brakes front and the back, MT4100, kind of a basic Shimano hydraulic disc brakes in the mountain bike world. They are using the Shimano's RT54 center lock rotors, again a bit basic braking rotors. You have 180 millimeters at the front, 160 millimeters at the back, which is standard, excellent stuff. And here again a little tip for the future: once when you destroy these braking rotors, it would be good, for example, to upgrade to the Shimano's SLX level or Shimano XT level braking rotors. They'll just give you a bit better heat dissipation and stopping power, but definitely keep the same size of 180 millimeters front and 160 millimeters at the back. I'm also glad that Trek is here giving you the total weight of this bike in some kind of size medium, which is 12.3 kilograms excluding pedals. So if you add pedals on top of it, probably 12.6 kilograms, which I consider a very competitive, you know, bike weight for this Trek ProCaliber 8 cross-country mountain bike. So in a summary, what would be my advice to you, considering that the retail price is $1,400 or 1,500 euros? I can definitely tell you, if you are in the market for a proper hardtail cross-country mountain bike, you should definitely just go ahead and buy this newest edition of the Trek ProCaliber 8 bike, because I think they have done a very good job with this iteration, and the price point is a very competitive price point. Cheers!